So happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we are here in Satsang. Today, I think let's get into the meditation first, and then we'll talk about the topic and discuss and interact on that. Um, so, in terms of you know the overall practice, I emphasize again and again the collective energy works in some very wonderful ways. Um, it's hard to um, describe that when we individually practice, which is very important, and doing once or twice a day, at least 15 minutes at a time, 15 to 30 minutes is, I think, more than enough. Um, that does several things. It, you know, cleanses us at so many levels, but re-energizes us. Um, it even gives us a perspective. So starting the day being re-energized and then getting to the end of the day and cleansing yourself and re-energizing as well. Um, Being with the energy is satsang, with the transcendental energy. Um, so eventually, it's not just the time of meditation. It has to be through and through, that we always feel that we are embodying the energy, we are with the transcendental energy, we are energized, and we are um, uplifting ourselves at every moment. But then when we come into the group, um, there is a whole new dynamics to it. Um, I almost feel that the positive that we embody, the positive that we almost bring to ourselves, that uplifts us, um, you know, in a multiplier fashion when we are in group. And typically, that has been happening in person. Um, but I feel that when the intent is strong and when the actual implementation is happening, um, it doesn't matter. The distances don't matter there. We, as a group, uh, embody the transcendental energy, and that transcendental energy works in a multiplier fashion when we get together with that intent in a group. So we'll do that now. Um, so eyes lightly closed and still and relaxed posture. So these are very simple. The whole process is extremely simple, but if we just follow, um, the steps, the way, uh, you know, just simple 1, 2, 3, the effect is pretty profound. So eyes lightly closed, still and relaxed posture, and then feel the presence of this transcendental energy right here, right now. This source of this transcendental energy is not far away, it's right here in front of us, and it's a conscious form of your choice. And this transcendental energy is in form of light, is entering our heart, enlightening it, and then it's distributing throughout the body. and we are getting completely and totally immersed in it. So essentially, this transcendental light is outside of us, inside of us, everywhere, and we are becoming the light. The mind wanders away, which it will. Just bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that this transcendental energy in form of light is entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are becoming one with this light. We'll start with music. Music helps concentration, and then we, transition out with music again. And in the middle, we are in deep silent meditation on this transcendental light. Let's start now. So happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we are here in Satsang. I was actually, before we, you know, post meditation is your time. Today, before um, I open up for discussion, I was just thinking about an article that I read, which was one of uh, one of my father's lectures. So basically, you know, he was talking about, you know, the meditation we did is at the heart center, and you know, it is very. There are some subtle but pretty profound differences um, compared to other forms of meditation when you focus um, on your heart. So he says that's where heart is associated with love. And the purest, the deepest, the most unconditional and selfless love, which is hard to find, obviously, but it lives in our heart. And I think in prior sessions we talked about um, there are sheets or dust that is covering, you know, the real light that we have within us, which is nothing but purest form of love. um, so when we bring light to our heart, what starts happening slowly and naturally is that this um, almost, it's very hard for us in the kind of culture and the environment, and just look at the news. Um, how do we believe that we actually can have a purest, most deeply selfless, unconditional love live somewhere, and you don't have to search anywhere else. It's right within you, and all you have to do is to continue to, you know, take away the dust, take away the sheets, and this meditation pretty much does that. So he basically refers in that article that it's prem yoga, which is the yoga which is the deepest form of love, which you know, you become united with the deepest unconditional and selfless love. Um, you know, and so there are some nuances he brings out. One, he says that, you know, if your mind is dry and dry of love, then meditation will be forced. The more the love enters, the more naturally you enter meditative states. Um, you know, he and then remembrance, you know, love and remembrance is pretty much the same. And then um, I'm relating this to another writing of Guru Maharaj, who uh, kind of said that devotion, love, and service are just different dimensions of the same thing. That's actually pretty deep because he says that, you know, uh, it's the devotion and love is, you know, when you get devoted to something, it's because, so either it's because of love or love grows because of that devotion. And when that love comes, um, you know, service happens automatically. So I think a lot of food for thought here, but now I'll open for discussion. I didn't really prepare anything. I was just reading this article, which was actually it's pretty deep. So we'll probably bring this topic again soon. So thoughts, comments, questions?
Hi, guess who's first? Namaskar. Hello, everyone. That topic is exactly kind of what I wanted to speak about today with you anyway, and with share with everyone. With everything that's been going on in the world the last couple of weeks, I was starting to feel helpless and a bit hopeless. So I was hearing lots of fear around me as well, and I've been trying my best not to look at the news.
Mhm.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do my transcendental meditation, do everything that we do here, and just sit in the light. So I did that. I actually did 30 minutes. And when I came back round, I let myself settle. And it just came to me, service. Service is something that's really important to me. So I Googled refugee centres for Iranians near me. And I found a support centre that's specifically for, the Iranian refugees. So I found lots of helplines for them. I went on the Red Cross website and I found some help points around Iran for people who need clothing, food, water. So I got all the information together and I created my own kind of information packs for them. So the day after, I got a taxi and I went there and I spoke to some of them. I heard their stories, which was heartbreaking, and there was a translator there, which was helpful, and that they expressed their fear and their worry for their loved ones out there, and how they feel like they're not welcomed in this country, and people just look straight past them, or they'll look away. And my heart broke. And they said, we just wish more people would see us and make an effort. So they thanked me, which made me cry. I didn't want to cry in front of them, but I was just really touched. And they thanked me for the information. I did sound healing with them. I took my Tibetan singing bowl
Huh.
and my chimes with me, and I just did some breath work with them.
So why don't
And
you sometime do that with us?
I can do. I just didn't think that it was something that we would do here.
No, we can do it before or after. See, what Guru Maharaj talked about was that, so he always used to start his sessions and end his sessions with a devotional song,
Mhm.
right? Just to get into the atmosphere, right? So we can do, I was thinking, because it's almost like people from India, from UK, from US, and various different parts. Uh, so we can, start the session with uh, some music from, a different culture every time.
Okay.
I think about these things and then implementing, obviously, it's, logistics and all that, but yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
will.
can try for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, because it just goes past anything. Music, breath, meditation, it just
Music is absolutely, like breath, is very, very, integral.
Absolutely.
So Guru Maharaj used to say that this is not breath work. We're meditating on transcendental light, but
Exactly.
what happens though is that when we meditate the way we do, the breathing actually slows down and gets regulated.
Yeah.
Right? So he says that you are not consciously doing that, but one of the byproducts you get is your breathing gets regulated. So
Exactly. I think they said your blood pressure comes down as well,
yeah,
and your heart rate slows down. So all the good stuff. So yeah, that was my week, and it was just exactly what your topic was. I meditated with the transcendental light, and service came to me, and I just thought, what are my strengths? What can I even offer these people? They're going through hell, and that's what I came up with. So if anyone feels hopeless, don't. There's always something that you can do to help. It doesn't matter how big or small. There's something that we each can give and offer people. And I'm sure Guru Maharaj would just love for us to do it.
yeah.
And yeah,
I think one of the things it's like, what is satsang? When I think about it, it's like, so I initially on the website when this is like 20 years back when so there was a section called System of Meditation, and then one of my uncles said like, um, I don't think it's doing justice because so then I thought about that, and it's like there's service aspect of it, there's the family or the collective group, um, the community aspect to it. There is the guidance aspect to it, and so on and so forth. So it's like there are multiple things. It's not just meditation.
exactly. So there's something for all of us that we can do. And it doesn't have to be going to a refugee center, it can be starting at home
Yeah.
and moving outwards. So I wanted to share that with you, and thank you for reading that to us as well. It's very in sync this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all need that.
Mhm. Anyone else want to join us? I'll stay on camera just to encourage people. Everyone's hiding today.
No, so Biju is
Oh, good. Hi.
Yes, no, it's an interesting. Thank you again for this great session. It was great, and whenever you talk about what's going on in the world and stuff, it's I don't mean I belong to a different sect, so I may not be speaking in the right context, but I've read excerpts from the Bhagavad Gita um, in my own little ways of understanding and the conflicts that I see around the world, and it just brings to mind how Krishna speaks to Arjuna in that Bhagavad Gita about it. I don't think that is just. I don't think it is just talking about family feud there. It is I think it's the crisis of the human soul caught between duty and destruction. That's how that's my, I don't know. It's a difficult, obviously it is distressing to see what's happening, but I still go back to, yeah, I read that, as I said, I practice a different religion. And so, but I'm always intrigued by what others bring to this world, the Bhagavad Gitas of the world or the other religious texts. And somehow this strikes in me. I just thought about it, and I just wondering because you might have a deeper understanding of the teachings and the Bhagavad Gita and how it relates to what we see in the world today. There's in terms of you're caught between your duty and obviously it's the destruction. However, each side wants to look at it. Obviously, it's humanity that's affected.
See, I mean, if I look at all these books that Guru Maharaj wrote, and you know, his view, and I think there is, all ideologies and religions have their own take on it, but I mean, love thy neighbor is one statement, but when you look at that, it can be such a profound statement that your neighbor can be anybody, right? And that would take what state would you be in to be able to implement that? So I think Guru Maharaj talks about various um, uh, ways in which humanity has tried to implement this selfless, unconditional love. We have put so much dust on our hearts that the light that we had within, or the love that we had within, uh, is no longer visible. So the if we are not at higher state, then we cannot operate from that state. And if we don't operate from a higher state, things happen that are, in my view, it's like operating on the lower state, which is why we sometimes don't care about people, and it just, that sentence goes on and on and on. So, I mean, one of his views was that before we ask others to become better, first let's take care of what is in our control. And his focus was to, create this method, this family, this approach where you get better and you help others to achieve the same thing. I mean, and I think in one of the previous discussions, we were saying that, world never becomes void of the good, the service. At the same time, service is happening. At the same time, the positive threads are still up and running. It's just, but yeah, I mean, we do see that people who should be, and people especially we look up to, people who are in quote unquote public service. We expect more from them. We expect that they would be serving people, not only people who are, who they are actually serving, but serving the humanity as such. So, yeah, I think one of the things is to focus on what is in our control. If we, and see that, I mean, I can vouch for this. I have watched thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are in this pursuit within this satsang family. And it's very, very, very tough to uplift yourself. You need, I mean, whatever our ego says, we need help, all of us. It's, I think what I'm recalling is Guru Maharaj said that his ability to stay on higher states, and I didn't see him, but in physical form, but I've seen people who followed him in this lineage, and their ability to stay on higher states consistently and constantly is just phenomenal. That's very, very, very uncommon. And so one statement Guru Maharaj made was that, I stay on, and I don't know, I think I'm rephrasing and might not sound right, but basically I think I'm loosely translating it is that, with the energy that I get from my guru, I stay at states where you can fetch power from me and lift yourself to a higher state. That's what I don't know, it was obviously in a very different context, but he said that that's part of satsang, that people who, so in the collective, somebody was actually yesterday only asking me that, do you have like beginners and, intermediate and advanced? And like Guru Maharaj never talked in those terms, because people who are on higher state, if they are together with the beginners will lift themselves up almost effortlessly in that satsang. So mixing, people at the lower and higher states is actually one of the, one of the important things about in-person satsang. And at the very least, like if the guru or somebody who has uplifted themselves to a higher state is driving it, then everybody feels it. Yeah.
And obviously, it's challenging not to be affected by what's going around, and sometimes you think just turn it all off and don't bother, but then you become sort of, do you not have any feelings, thoughts?
No. So actually this is, and then let me go out on a limb and just say that this is a very Western thought. And pardon me for saying this. It's like, see, higher awareness is not about, closing your eyes from what's happening perspective. Actually, higher awareness is that you observe very minutely what is going on, what's wrong with that picture. But because you are not associating your, emotions with it at a higher state, emotional regulation is at a very different state. So you observe, but you don't get dragged down because you don't associate yourself in ways that, so see, I don't know why. I mean, there are some things that you understand better than others. So one of the things that coming to this concept of observation, what comes to my mind first always is, if you go back when newspapers were a thing, and most of the newspapers were like called observers, right? It's like LA Observer, right? And the whole idea was that the reporter will observe and report, not become entangled and make it a Republican or Democratic statement there. They will just go and say, this is what we observed. You make a decision. Now you have within yourself this capability that you can observe and then report back to the, Vivek or the intellect, that what do you make of it? Instead, what we do is we judge, we, get entangled to a point where our BP goes up and down. We get entangled and what is associated with it is your emotional upheaval that gets attached to it. So empathy is good, but empathy is not a way in which you get dragged, you drag yourself down. Empathy is more about understanding what is happening and through service or otherwise, what can I do? Right? So I I observed, and I'm not actually, I'm saying less than what I have really seen, but I observed, like, Guru Maharaj or Guru Maharaj's followers, like Panditji Maharaj, that I interacted with a lot. Every day he would meet, if not hundreds, like tens of people every day. And in the events, like satsang events, probably thousands of people. And most of them would be coming to him and talking about the problems that they are facing. Now, if you imagine, if every day you hear 10 stories, that one story will bog you down to a point where you won't be able to operate, right? And I mean it. I'm not saying it lightly. He was able to operate every day through that. How? So, I mean, any things at his disposal, including what Guru Maharaj said, that the biggest service you do is the service at the highest level, so physical, financial, educational, so psychological, etc., and then spiritual. When you make a person feel complete when they are feeling incomplete. So it's not about, I think the individuals do a lot, because at the end of the day, I don't know, I mean, there is no easy way to say this, but a collective can affect the outcomes of elections, outcomes of what happens in revolutions, outcomes of when people stand up to brutality and to that has been happening throughout. So bad things have been happening, but the resistance to those bad things has also been happening throughout the history. So being an observer and being less judgmental and emotional and more about what should I be doing to, be above some of the minutia and then affect intellectually and spiritually the collective so that the right things happen. I mean, if we continue to do that, I think we'll be better humanity going forward. But the opposite happens from because the negative energy, and we see this, right? We talked about this, that like, why do we see news is all negative? It's not just negative that's happening in the world, right? So, because human mind, our minds are more they just naturally connect more to the negativity. And that's why negative news sells. That's why every news channel, you switch it on and boom, 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 as though like everything is just, 5 minutes and I have a severe headache, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. It's well said. Thank you. Well said.
So Arvindji, I think you should lighten up the mood, here.
Oh, fortunate to join. Namaskar and happy Saturday, everybody. Blissful. Thank you, Puji Bhaiya, once again. Whenever I join, I mean, every second is a privilege. And let me first say, Christy, Michael, what she did, for example, exemplifies Guru Maharaj's selfless love, and this is what he taught us, and this is what is expected of us, and we're so fortunate. When Biju was saying about Lord Krishna and Arjuna and the difficult situation there, that sort of almost resonates with what's happening today. Mahabharata, the battle between the negativity and positivity. Dwapar, back then, Dwapar, and this is Kali Yugam. So it's almost like it happened in Dwapar as well, Treta, Lord Rama's time. So, I mean, and, Lord Christ, Pontius Pilate, So I just think that has, as Puja Bhaiya was saying, that balance is always between good and evil. And as fortunate to join this Sangh, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. It's fortunate to join this satsang where Guru Maharaj, just transcendental energy is coming to us and we are fortunate to receive it. Perhaps the lessons people like me and rest of us need to remember is that connecting is what allows us, as Sanjeev Bhai was saying about the greats, Panditji Maharaj and the greats of this satsang, the great disciples, they achieved a state where there was balance. They were able to maintain themselves in a certain level of balance. I too remember, and in a smaller way, seeing Panditji Maharaj, for example, see hundreds, if not thousands of people every day sometimes, and everyone had their story to tell. And how did they maintain? And Papaji, and it's incredible what they were able to do. And to feel that connection, even on the occasion, one is unable to describe that bliss. I just pray to Puja Bhaiya that we can all, at a time, experience that eternal, indescribable bliss of pure love that can only come by connecting. So humble. I can't say anymore because thank you. Namaskar.
Because when I reflect, service comes in many, many, many forms. And sometimes we, I, especially when I think about my mother, later years, people will just come, sit with her, talk about all the things that are, going wrong. And for sometimes like it's a whole, and she would just sit there and listen. And that, I mean, all of us can take some time out and like, I think Christy, what you were saying was like, just people want to be seen and heard. And just that can be a big part of a service that we can do, but we don't have time for others. right? So, Chrissy,
Sorry, I was just going to say that the more that we connect with people, the more we can break down the fear that from the outside noise, especially like the mainstream media. You were saying everything is always negative, negative that they're showing us. And I think that ultimately that's just a form of control at the end of it. But if we connect to each other on a one-on-one level or in smaller groups,
yeah,
we can break away all of that and get down to the pure connection that we all have within us. And it can make such a big difference. Such a big difference. I mean, we do it here. And if we can do it here, we can do it for 15 minutes with someone else in the day. It,
absolutely.
it's not as hard. We can all make time to do it.
Yeah.
We
If I
we
may,
need to stop.
yeah,
Go on.
absolutely, absolutely correct. If that's so important to listen and to try to follow, because the human brain, if I may, neurobiology tells us what Biju was saying. How we get influenced by the news, and Puja Bhaya was saying it's not just negative news, but we are more focused easily. The brain, the fight and flight system, the limbic system, is wired to accept, frankly, negativity a lot more than the positive aspects of energies. And as Guru Maharaj said, as Sanjeev Bhai has also said many times, we have two kinds of energies. One is a faster flowing downward negative energy, and there is a much slower ascent of positive energy upwards. So, it's almost like saying the water, and Guru Maharaj or Panditji Maharaj somewhere said that it's very easy for water to flow downhill towards gravity. For water to be fetched up, there's going to be an effort to be made to make it rise against gravity, for example, and be in a receptacle and then provide that water to a lot of people in a tank, from a tank, for example. So similar, I believe, in a rough way, is our situation as humans in this life. It's a lot easier downhill course and a lot tougher, and hence the help. As Vaya said, we all need help. Yeah, we do need help to ascend and to stay there. A lot of help needed, and we're fortunate again here.
So Pam and Steve, anybody else before we wrap up?
It's just good to be here today. I think sometimes people try to appear out of control, to try to control a situation, like they're purposely acting out of control to get what they want. And I think that might be the case with some of the leadership right now. I see bad behavior every day in the classroom as a teacher. And I think certain people learn certain survival skills because they've been raised in a not in a very humanistic way, and so we just can't be deterred by the actions of people who aren't going to operate from a higher ground. We just have to stay focused on what's in front of us and what we can control, and small acts of love and good deeds. Those are the things that we can control, and those are the things that we have to try to act out. So it's trying to have will, trying to have knowledge, and taking action. So if we can't act, at least we can think about these things and feel them in our heart, and hopefully it motivates us then to take that action. So just today's a new day, and we can go out and we can do things. We can do positive things. So
Absolutely.
take the opportunity. We're here. It's wonderful to be here, to be able to have the ability take action and to do positive, and that's that's the hard work in front of us. It's a tall mountain, but one step is the first step in that direction.
Yeah, that's the mountain climbing thing, right? It's like every step has to be intent based, very, very focused.
Thank you. Thank you for your message.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Christy, Arunji, Biju, Elaji, Sangeeta-ji,
Thank you.
Pam. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a nice weekend.
Sagar Charan Sparshmiya. Hello to everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye, Jeff, Paula, Taru, Geeta, Mahimaji, Poonamji,
Namaskar ji.
Prayag, Shweta, Renuji.
Pranam bhaiya. Namaskar everyone.
Bye, everyone.
प्रणाम भैया सबको प्रणाम
प्रणाम भैया
Namaskar.
Pranam bhaiya. Sabko pranam.
Bye, AC. All right.